I've started a lot of creative projects over the years, and honestly, I don't finish most of them. Some people may think this is an issue, but it turns out this is actually pretty common. So I was chatting to Rose about it while working on this video, and she explained why this might not actually be a bad thing.
So there are two mindset shifts that can really help with hobby hopping and guilt. The first is moving from seeing it as a problem to recognising it as a solution. The second is to change from thinking about it as a product-based activity to seeing it as a process-based activity.
So maybe finishing isn't really the problem. The secret is in the process. This is the lion dance head. I was learning lion dance at my kung fu school and decided it would be a great project to try and build one. I designed the frame, got all the parts from Vietnam and China, I started building, and then got distracted by something else. 1 year later, it's still sitting there, and I do still intend on finishing it, one day, maybe. Then there's the racing simulator. Triple screens, custom desk, I built the whole thing from scratch. Took weeks to work out the design, screen angles, field of view, and once I had it all tweaked and working, I hardly used it. A few weeks of iRacing and I pulled it all apart to make room for something else. It turns out that I didn't build it to race, it was the process of building is where the magic was. I still have all the gear, but it's back in storage boxes, and maybe one day I'll dig it out again. And it's not just the big builds. I've got unfinished paintings, game ideas, animations, even merch designs. Most of them I probably won't go back to, but that's okay. So what's actually going on here?
So many neurodivergent folk are chronically low in dopamine. It means that our baseline levels are just lower than most of the populations, and it means that we struggle to get through the things that we just need to do every day because we're feeling So how do we fix this? We hobby hop. We look for activities that generate dopamine. And for neurodivergent folk, particularly for ADHD folk, who are heavily driven by novelty, new activities are a great source of dopamine. So we're always looking for that new hit. Now, because we are also really good with systems and pattern recognition, the thing that we're getting the value out of in these hobbies is often not necessarily the thing itself or the product, but the learning of it. So because there's a heavy influence of product creation in art and craft, we can tend to pile on a bit of guilt, and also because we're outlaying resources to get into these hobbies, not finishing anything and then moving on, spending more time, energy, resources, all of this, we can end up feeling really guilty about it. So if we can shift from recognizing this or seeing this as a problem to recognizing it as a solution for us and recognizing what it's doing for us, it's generating dopamine, which allows us then to do all the things that we need to do in daily life, that can help alleviate some of the guilt. Also, shifting from a product perspective to a process perspective, recognizing that it's not the product that is going to make us feel good, but the doing of it, the process, the learning in it, that can take some of the guilt out of it as well. So if we can combine these two perspectives, it can take a lot of the sting, a lot of the guilt out of hobby hopping if we recognize what it's actually doing for us and how it works for us. It opens the door for us to then circle back around, because if we're feeling icky about that jumper we didn't finish knitting, we're not going to want to come back to it. But if we can take the guilt out of the equation, then 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the track, we might pull it out of the cupboard and go, oh, I remember how much fun I had doing that. Let me whip up that last jumper sleeve, put it together, and bam, I've completed the project, I've got the jumper, and maybe I feel like doing something else in there as well. Maybe I feel like expanding into crochet. Maybe I want to learn a new stitch. It opens the door to come back around to these hobbies and capitalise on the resources that we've already invested without guilt.
So not everything needs to be polished and published. Sometimes just the process of making the thing was the point all along.